Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paige Campbell Show, episode 32.
Nice.
It's gonna be a good one. Next to me, my left-hand man, of course, Noah Clarke.
Noah Clarke. It's good to be here.
Good to be here.
It's always good to be here.
You're off, because you're college, right? VCU.
Right.
You're off this week
Come home
because
again.
of
There's a bike race.
a bike race. That's
happening in
interesting.
Richmond. It is interesting.
I would wager that most people do not get a week off of college for a bike race.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're probably the only ones. Maybe University of Richmond, but
Maybe where in France does the Tour de France take
yeah.
place?
Well, it's interesting because like this is one of the largest bike races like in the world.
Right.
Third. To
You said like third largest?
Yeah, the Tour de France is like first or second, so it's a pretty big deal. I don't know why it's going to take a week to go through Richmond.
Yeah, that is odd. How big is Richmond? Do you know?
It's a pretty big town. They're starting in. I don't know where they're starting, but I know they went through King's Dominion, like they drove around through the park, and then on towards downtown. I guess I think they're ending downtown somewhere. And that's a long way. I know that much, and there's a lot of uphill involved.
Right.
So it's certainly a strenuous bike race.
That's very odd. So you said you missed a class because of this already.
Yeah. See, my residence hall is like 2 miles from the main campus.
Right.
Because I live on the medical side of town, the medical campus.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take a bus to class, and the Friday that the bike race started Saturday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday
So
or
it's
Sunday.
a week-long bike race.
Yeah.
When's it end?
I don't know. I'm assuming sometime this weekend or
Right,
Friday.
hopefully.
Yeah. But it didn't start Friday, but most of the roads were closed already in preparation, and the buses were delayed, so I didn't have class. I just missed class because buses were taking too long.
Right. You could have taken a bike.
I could have taken a bike. I probably could have walked and made it, but I didn't want to.
You just rather miss class.
I didn't really want to go, so.
Life's a Beach. This is the if you checked out the short film by Noah Clarke
Pops.
starring me. It's called Pops. It's on this very YouTube channel.
Check it out.
If you're on YouTube, if you're on iTunes,
It's a great short film.
You can't find the short film on iTunes. It's a prop. One day it might be worth big bucks. Hopefully.
We'll hope so.
It's Noah's first dipping his toes into acting, and not acting, directing.
I would have loved to have acted.
Well, you were
would have
in it.
loved to. Oh yeah, that's right. I played the.
Couple seconds.
It was a cameo from
Right.
the director.
You were the sitcom dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, and then that was, I mean, I've been in, school projects and stuff, but that was
Yeah.
my first acting gig.
Technically, well, I don't know. It was for a school event, but it wasn't really a school.
It was for like a film festival.
Did it more for
wasn't
myself.
like required.
I did it more for myself.
We did it more because
I hatched the idea.
We're creative geniuses.
We're geniuses.
Right.
Brilliant minds. I can't take all the credit. You helped.
Yeah.
You and Nick both directed.
It was really loose. You had the concept, and
we went with it.
yeah, we showed up and we just kind of riffed,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. Nick Piccinino, who's been on the show,
He's a friend of the show.
currently at JMU.
Wish him the best.
Nick's, the Paige Campbell Show might have kickstarted his career.
I would say so.
Well, I was hanging out with him, and he told me he was gonna try to get a
Right.
radio show
Right,
at
he told me
JMU.
this too. Yeah.
So maybe the bug bit him.
I hope
The
so.
podcasting.
Let's hope so.
I mean, radio is a dying art.
Right.
The future of radio is podcasting.
I would say so.
I hate to tell you, internet radio.
Download that podcast online.
I don't
Listen
know.
to that.
It is weird because like radio is a dying art, but do you think there will ever be a time without radio?
I kind of don't think so, especially when you look at trends. Stuff dies and then comes back.
Right.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about the man bun.
Oh yeah.
Sort of
Hate man buns.
it's pretty obvious that they're just trying to bring back samurai
Like Japanese.
culture
Yeah.
into the popular mainstream here of fashion.
Right. Yokozuna.
It's pretty obvious.
And yeah, but there's something about like it only looks good on like 500-pound Japanese men. It doesn't look good on. It only looks good on Last Airbenders.
Right, exactly.
The thing about radio, the thing about like the idea of like radio to me is like, I kind of think in like especially in like a post-apocalyptic setting, right?
Yeah.
Like it'll always be around because the towers are there, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you play Fallout. And
Yeah,
you
right.
walk around with the radio.
The internet goes
Playing,
down,
like,
right?
stuff.
And it's
Yeah.
like the internet's gone,
Right.
But yep, radio's gonna be. The towers are gonna stay.
Yeah.
A tower here or there might fall, but overall, towers are there. So
Tower defense.
yeah. What is? I said the internet goes down. What is the internet?
Who knows?
Like it's honestly weird when you think
It
about
is.
it.
It is a pretty mind blowing.
Like,
Like the
what?
cloud. I still don't really understand.
But what's the internet? Like
Yeah.
you log on, you have to log on. What are you logging on to?
That's true. Because like before it was like dial up. Like it was a really connection, but now it's just
But still,
it's
what
so
were you
much
connecting
more.
to?
It seems like
Like
it's
what
so,
is the World Wide Web?
It's so abstract.
Yeah, but there's got to be like is there an actual physical internet somewhere that's like a server?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like 'cause it's
I'm
not
really-
like it's not like a computer. It's not like going onto a computer. Logging onto the computer, you don't have
The computer's
infinite-
not the internet.
You don't have
the internet
infinite
is.
resources.
You need a computer for the internet,
right?
but you don't need the internet for a computer.
No, you don't, because you can get solitaire without the
S-
internet.
Spider solitaire.
It's spider solitaire.
That's what it is. The World Wide Web. Spider solitaire.
It is. I would say so.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, it's mine.
3D Space
It really
Cadet
is.
pinball.
Pinball's great. Pinball's
Minesweeper?
classic.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on video pinball?
Video pinball. What do you mean? Oh, like
3D Space
with the- oh,
Cadet
yeah.
pinball.
I think it's fine.
I mean,
It's
the thing
thrilling.
is, it's
Pokemon pinball.
it's
a great
fine.
Game.
Yeah, Pokemon pinball is my
Fantastic
jam.
game.
The thing about pinball to me is like, or video pinball is like, it's fine, but it'll never be actual pinball.
No,
You know
don't
what I
have
mean?
the feel. You don't have the grip, the tangible
You don't get the
pinball.
tilt. You can get the
Yeah.
tilt going on. They have a button for tilt, but it's not an actual tilt.
It's not. It's not real tilt.
You don't get the same rush.
I feel like I'm better at video pinball though.
That's probably true.
I think I've
Pinball, like
gotten
actual
higher
pinball, is
scores.
kind of hard.
It is tough.
Slick balls,
Yeah. It's a challenging game.
right?
It's a fun game.
Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping here. A little bit of housekeeping. Ideas for the show.
Mm-hmm.
The Superman table read.
Yes.
Are you in or are you out? You want to do it?
I'd love to. If
Okay.
I can.
We're gonna try to do it maybe this week.
Okay.
Not released this week, but we're gonna try to record it this week. So I got to get like 2 or 3 more people
Yeah.
in for that because
Yeah.
it's a table read.
Exactly.
We're doing a script. I think it's got Superman. We need a Lois. We need a Clark Kent. Same person.
But yeah. Might as
Okay.
well.
Same person. We need Luthor.
Mm.
We need do we know any bald men?
Maybe like one of my football coaches from high school.
Now, got to be full bald. Maybe we could get Jesse Eisenberg in here.
We should.
He shaved his head for.
I think he'd make a great Lex.
It's like he was in Batman vs Superman. He could also appear in
He
the
can be
Paige
on the
Campbell
Paige Campbell show.
Reads
He
Kevin
can be on a
Smith's
table read.
Table read.
Superman.
So, Superman table read.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Now I've been known to not keep my word. So
It was going to be episode 30.
So for
that
the
didn't happen.
for the 2 people listening, don't be upset. But we're
Don't
gonna
get your
do it.
hopes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get my friend Ken in here.
That'd be great.
He's a big Kevin
Get
Smith
him on the
fan,
show.
and I think he likes Superman. I don't know if he's a big Superman fan. Shout out. Listen to So Let's Get to the Point. That's his pod. He interviewed Kurt Braunohler.
Really?
Yeah,
For the podcast?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it was a phone interview, but yeah, it was
That's
good.
fantastic.
I highly recommend it. It was like a 30-minute, nice, concise interview.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially if you're a comedy nerd, I highly recommend listening to it. Kurt Braunohler was in Charlottesville.
He's a very funny man.
He destroyed. I had never like, I don't know. I didn't expect it. Like nothing against him.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to be like as nearly as good as it was. You know.
Well, live stuff is always better anyways,
That's true. One sec.
typically.
That's true. Live stuff is always typically better. But I'd listened to his album and I'd seen a couple bits here and there on YouTube and stuff, and I liked what I had heard. Right, like I enjoyed his stuff. but like, it was one of the best live experiences I've had.
That's cool.
Like he tore the like we saw Hannibal together,
Right.
and I liked him more than Hannibal. Live.
Really?
Yeah. I think The Room plays a lot into it. You know.
Yeah, you saw him at the Southern, right?
Saw him
in
at the
Charlottesville.
Southern, which is a very small room. It seats like maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
Very small. And everyone was into it, and it felt very intimate. And he just destroyed, right?
Yeah.
We saw Hannibal, and Hannibal was funny, but it's like Hannibal. It was like a huge theater.
Yeah,
you know what I
huge
mean. So it was like
theater,
600
really
people.
indirect, Yeah.
So I don't know. In a theater, when you see a comedy show in a theater, like laughs kind of come in waves.
Yeah, there's
you know what I mean.
yeah.
It like starts and then like goes back.
Yeah, and
It's weird.
there's a personal touch to the smaller venues, like the more
Yeah.
intimate venues. There's more of a connection.
That's
I feel
very
like.
true. It was
Because I've seen concerts there, and
Mhm.
they've always been like really great experiences.
yeah, it was like general admission.
Yeah.
And so like we were in the front row, and it was like a lot of the times it felt like he was delivering the joke like right to
Yeah,
us. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
like it does feel a lot more personal.
You get a lot of eye contact.
Yeah, I think Louis C.K. said that about his most recent. Like he wrote this article about his most recent special live at the Comedy Store. Did you ever watch it?
No, I haven't seen that.
Very good. Very different. He riffs a lot more and stuff, and it captures the feeling of like a comedy club. And he said that like all of his other specials are in theaters.
Yeah.
And while he likes it, it's like a theater doesn't capture like comedy. He said a comedy club is where the comedy's born.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean. And
Yeah,
then
that's where they're starting
when it's
off.
completely polished, you go to a theater. But he was like I just wanted to capture the feeling of like creating comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
So and he did. It
That's
feels
really cool.
Feels really nice. He riffs a lot more.
Have to watch that.
Yeah, I highly recommend. I'm a huge
Check that out.
I'm a huge Louis C.K. fan.
He's a great comedian.
Yes.
Probably the best.
Yeah. Some more housekeeping. I'm gonna try. We're doing some announcements here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try.
No spoilers, I hope.
Hopefully
Don't
not
spoil
spoilers.
too much.
Yeah, that's true.
What's in store?
I'm gonna try to get a psychic on the show.
Oh.
There's a psychic.
talked about this.
Maybe she knows already, or he. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but maybe they know already.
She already knows.
Maybe they're expecting a call. I'm gonna call them and see if they're into it. There's a psychic like next to the library in Augusta County.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
That'd be great.
Interview them,
That'd be a
see
great interview.
see if they've always had the gift.
Be some good radio.
It's gonna be one of these things where it's like I'm gonna interview them and like for the sake of the interview, like pretend that I believe it, you know?
Yeah, right,
But then
right.
like afterwards, I'm gonna be like, yeah, she's full of crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for the sake of the interview, I'm gonna be like, how long have you had the gift? Like when did you know? You know what I mean?
Can we contact my great uncle?
Yeah, I really miss my grandfather.
I want to talk to Kurt
My
Cobain.
Pep. Can you channel Hitler? What if she could bring
We should bring Hitler back.
Hitler onto the show?
I think this podcast will take off.
I got a lot of questions for Mein Führer.
I don't know. I don't know if that would be legal. I don't know if it's illegal to talk to Hitler. I don't think it's legal to have the name Hitler.
We could get arrested for talking to Hitler.
Hitler's ghost.
It's like we can sense Hitler's ectoplasm on you.
Are you there?
Yeah, maybe she can bring Hitler up. I got a lot of questions because he was a really inconsistent guy.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, like evidently they found
So he was a terrible guy.
terrible man.
Establish that.
Let's right up front. Let's
We don't support or condone Hitler,
we do not condone Hitler's actions.
but he's still somebody I'd talk to him.
Right. Think of all the great entertainers we wouldn't have if Hitler was successful.
Exactly.
You know, we wouldn't have Ben Stiller. We wouldn't have Jerry Stiller.
Harold Ramis.
Was Harold Ramis Jewish?
Oh yeah.
We wouldn't have Superman.
We wouldn't have.
Superman's
that's true.
creators were
That's
Jewish.
right.
I mean, they created him
most-
during World War II, but
Most people in media, I think, are Jewish to some
yeah.
extent.
Well, they control everything.
Exactly.
All the
We
money.
wouldn't have a lot of bankers. We'd be out of.
We'd
out
have
of our
no
luck.
bankers. The money would be a lot more spread out.
And there's a lot of great food.
Yeah.
A lot of great delis that
Yeah.
are started by Jewish people.
No one would. Snapchat wouldn't have had the Rosh Hashanah overlay.
That was a great filter, and I would have missed out on that experience. Had it been for
I love the
genocide.
overlay.
Yeah.
Big Rosh Hashanah fan.
We would have had
No Hanukkah.
no Hanukkah.
No, Yom Kippur. I don't know what. There are so many Jewish holidays. I don't know what they celebrate.
They're lucky to have so many holidays. Or maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe there's chores involved.
Yeah. But, I have a lot of questions for Hitler. Speaking of Jewish people.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions for Hitler. Like, apparently they found Ava Braun, his wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like,
Was this recent?
I think it was a year or two ago.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, they found a strand of her hair and found out that she was like half Jewish. Like her
Yeah.
mom was like Jewish. So like Ava Braun, the woman, he was only married to her for a day, but they were like together for years.
Yeah.
It seemed like the type of thing in the bunker where he killed himself, because she killed himself with him.
Mm-hmm.
She killed herself
Right.
with him.
Right.
It seemed like they did the ceremony so they could die married and then killed themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ava Braun was like Jewish.
Yeah, I feel like he probably knew anyways.
You think he knew?
Because, well, I mean, like, he was trying to perfect a race, right?
I mean, the thing is,
He himself wasn't a member of that race.
Right,
The Aryan,
sure.
The Aryan race. So I feel like he probably knew that his wife was Jewish.
The thing is, did she know? Because, like, she's kind of the worst person ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, she's not the one actually killing
Right.
6 million Jews.
Right.
But
She
she's
married
kind of
the
the
guy.
worst. What?
But she married the guy.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, she, you know your mom's Jewish. So it's like, you're
Yeah,
just, like,
yeah.
marrying the guy that's killing all your people.
Right.
You know?
I don't know.
Like, if I married a lady who was trying to exterminate all of the Campbells, a lot of Campbells out there. It's like 6 million Campbells get killed by...
It's got to be fueled by some hardcore teen angst. Some rebellious attitudes.
Well, that was always my question about Hitler. Like, when did he become Hitler?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
like, he wrote Mein Kampf, which was, like, his first, like, I mean, it's his book, but it was, like, his first, like, put him on the map, kind of.
Right.
He wrote that in prison, I think, in his 20s. But, like, when did he start acting like... Because, like, you know, he's on the playground, you know? He probably had some Jewish friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, let's play some Foursquare. You know what I mean? When did
Right.
Hitler decide that this was his thing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe
I
it
mean,
was because
maybe
of
he
Ava
just
Braun.
snapped. Maybe she influenced him.
No, maybe she like she was like bitching about like she's like, oh, you always leave your underwear on the floor, Hitler.
Your inner Jew is coming out.
You always leave your underwear on the floor. Why are you spending all our money? You know? And
Yeah.
then
Right.
He
Are you
did.
spending money at all?
Right.
Because she doesn't want him to spend money. 'Cause she's Jewish.
Right.
It's a stereotype, right?
Yeah. But
But yeah, maybe that's a good cause.
what?
Her being a terrible person, and then him realizing maybe it's the Jewish part of her.
Right, and that's how it started. Well, I think, like, actually looking at, like, the person Hitler was, I think he was very mentally ill.
I think so. I would agree with that.
Because, like, I think I said it on the show before, but there was this type of dog that he tried to exterminate. It was this German type of dog, like,
Mhm.
known for being really noble. And, he went to, like, make it the national dog of Germany while he was the Fuhrer. And, like, he reached out and it bit him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, kill all of this
Yeah.
type of dog. So it's like, that's the type of thing where it's like, yeah, he definitely had some, like, anger management issues.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And I'm not talking Anger Management, the movie with Adam Sandler and Jack. Is it Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
All right, Jack. I'm not talking about that.
Wait, was it Adam Sandler though?
Yeah.
It was.
Thought it was Kevin James.
No, I didn't think it was Kevin James.
I'm pretty sure it's Adam Sandler.
Well, I know that Jack Nicholson is in it.
Jack Nicholson's pretty good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's the Joker.
Yeah. The Shining. He was in The Shining.
Oh, dude, he's phenomenal in The Shining.
Yeah, he really is.
There's a lot of actors that I don't know like are good, and then I see one thing and I'm like, holy crap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like recently for me, I watched Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I had never seen it. I watched it a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and what's that guy's name? John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta.
John Travolta, like, I've seen him in a couple things, and I was always like, he's fine.
Yeah.
But holy crap, he's
Right.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Have you seen
he's-
Pulp Fiction?
Parts of it, yeah. I haven't seen it all the way through yet.
He's amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
It's like
He's a pretty good actor, yeah.
yeah, I never knew he was like good, but
Yeah.
like, dude, he was amazing in that
Yeah.
movie. So, any actors like that for you?
Oh, I recently watched Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah?
Anthony Hopkins just like destroyed the like 15 minutes of that movie he was in.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love like really like unsettling movies like that.
that
where
was
it's,
a great movie.
the way like just like the people like converse and like talk is
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
so like creepy and weird. Like Kevin Smith, his movie Tusk and his movie, have you seen Red State?
I have not. You know.
Red State's fantastic. I recommend it. The guy
Oh yeah, yeah.
the guy that they have, did I already say this?
I don't know.
feel
But
like I said
we've
this on the
we've
show.
talked about it.
The guy that they have on the, I forget what I say on the show and not on the show,
Yeah,
you know, because
yeah.
we just talk.
Become your life.
Right. It is my
Essentially.
life. My life is the Paige Campbell show. But yeah, this the guy that he gets, Michael Parks, is so phenomenal.
That's his name.
Yeah, Michael Parks. He's so phenomenal at just like delivering like really creepy, unsettling
He's a fantastic
monologues.
actor.
Red State is about like a Westboro Baptist-esque church,
Mhm.
and they're behind closed doors. They're not just hateful towards gays. They're
Yeah.
taking it one step further. I don't want to spoil anything, but he delivers this monologue, this like homophobic, like creepy monologue that just like at one point just it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like one
yeah.
of the best like movie moments I've seen.
I mean, he was great in Tusk. So I
Yeah,
can
oh
imagine.
yeah,
I
his
can imagine.
he plays a similar character in Tusk, not homophobic, but just like so creepy.
Creepy old dude. Yeah,
I love movies that are able to capture that.
that's awesome.
I've been writing some horror stories, but I'm gonna try to do them as comics because horror's not good with like a really low budget.
Yeah.
You know, I would go practical, but
Horror comics is one of the greatest things
horror comics.
that exists. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Like, I picked up Witches recently. I haven't read
Witches
it all the
is-
way through yet.
Oh,
but
it blew me away.
Just like, if you're able to tell a story, a scary story nonetheless,
Yeah.
with images, like that's just one of the greatest, techniques, one of the greatest art forms. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Well, Scott Snyder is, I think, one of the great horror storytellers.
He's a great writer in
He's
general.
a great writer, but like he can turn like anything into like a creepy like the Joker is a character
Yeah.
much like Michael Parks in Tusk, who's like just so good at being like creepy, and like Scott Snyder, even though because if you're not into comics are rated like movies. Like there's teen, there's like
Yeah,
I think
right.
it's like K for kids, and then
Right.
like MA for mature. And DC and Marvel, like since they appeal to a pretty general audience, they don't go above T for their main line
Right,
superheroes. And Scott Snyder was able to turn Batman for a couple months into one of the creepiest horror books
his first,
on the stands.
his first run with Batman was creepy in itself. The Night of the Owls. I mean, some
Right.
of that stuff was intense.
His Death of the Family.
I haven't read that yet.
Oh, it's fantastic. The Joker gets his face cut off by a guy named the
Yeah,
Dollmaker,
yeah.
and he staples it back on.
Yeah,
And like the story is creepy, but like the way Greg Capullo draws him,
Oh, he's a
like his face, like Snyder's monologues are so perfect, and then like the way Greg Capullo draws it,
Yeah.
like it's like his face is like flapping in the wind and stuff.
yeah, that's
It's
great.
it's perfect. So I really like stuff like that. There's a movie called Vulgar about a guy, a clown that gets raped by like two guys or like three guys.
Nice.
And the writing in that is
Yeah.
really creepy too. Yeah, Brian Johnson, who's Kevin Smith's friend, wrote the movie, and yeah, it's much like Tusk, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just the way people talk to each other is so
Yeah.
unsettling.
I've
I
been
love it.
also reading horror manga lately.
Okay.
Or manga, if that's how you prefer to pronounce it.
Right.
There's his name's like Junji Ito or something. You should check him out. I think you'd really like it.
Okay.
He's like one of the more famous horror artists from Japan, and like his stuff is so bizarre. It's really weird and really creepy. And
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
That's interesting. I've never thought of like horror manga.
Yeah.
I've
It's like I think it's probably rated mature on that scale too.
Okay.
So it's cool stuff.
yeah, I've never like been against manga. I just for some reason have never like gotten that
I mean,
into it.
A lot of the media that comes out of Japan is very like there's a lot of cliches in it, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's very easy to point out.
A lot of
This stuff is
demons.
just like, yeah. I mean, this stuff is just like his best and probably most popular work.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Uzumaki, which is Japanese for spiral or
Okay.
something like that. And the whole story is basically about a town being plagued by spirals, like the shape.
Oh wow.
And like it's saying that sounds lame, but it's just the most insane thing.
Spirals.
You should check it out.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean the few like I've read some Bleach, I've read some Naruto,
Bleach is cool.
and the stuff I've read I like. It's
Yeah.
just like for some reason like when I go to read a comic, I go for an American comic. I don't know
Right,
why.
right.
Like I love Marvel, but DC. I'm a really big DC guy.
DC's
I love DC. I like a lot of indie comics.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely check it out. That sounds
Yeah.
cool. I think we're gonna do a Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
More housekeeping.
Nice.
I think we'll be. I think we're gonna
on
go.
the topic of scary things.
Right. I think we're gonna go. We're gonna try to hit. We did a Christmas last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna try to do Halloween and Christmas.
We tried to do
this
a
year.
Halloween episode.
We tried to.
A little behind the scenes
But you dropped your phone and
discussion
coffee
here.
and
I
couldn't
did.
make it. I should have just, in hindsight, I should have just recorded it with Nick.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, but Nick.
I mean, you might as well have.
Nick Piccinino was at my house.
Felt bad.
He was dressed like Ness. I was dressed like Mario. We were ready to go.
You could have done just like a Nintendo themed episode.
Right. Well, the thing is too, I wasn't. I don't think Nick's that into horror,
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't sure how well it would go.
Talk about, yeah.
Yeah, but he looked good. Nick like is Ness.
He pretty much is.
I've seen
If
him.
he picks up
I've
a
seen him
yo-yo.
throw a little thunder. I've seen him do a little PK freeze every once in a while. So yeah, we're gonna try to hit Halloween this year,
Yeah. I mean, we should.
and you're the one.
It's a great holiday.
Yeah. So do a little horror. We're gonna try to do Christmas. We will do Christmas.
We'll do Christmas.
You're
I'll
off
be
for like a
home.
month.
Yeah.
So we'll do Christmas.
Yeah.
The Christmas, I'm not gonna do any spoilers because we've got something good.
It should be a great episode.
We've got something good in the banks for
Mhm.
Christmas.
If it works.
I think it'll work.
It should. It probably will. Especially knowing the area.
Yeah, the area. Well,
We don't want to talk.
this isn't good radio.
Let's talk about news.
What news do you want to talk
I
about?
don't know. Any news?
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
What do you think? If you're not familiar, Pokemon Go. Nintendo announced this a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
week or
yeah.
maybe 2 ago, Nintendo announced Pokemon Go. It's a mobile Pokemon game. It's like a VR Pokemon game.
Mhm.
So like Pokemon are gonna appear essentially like on your phone, but like in front of you, and you have to like throw a ball at them and like catch them, right? Catch them. And there's like a bracelet you can buy, but evidently you don't need the bracelet.
I think the bracelet's like, from what I understand, there's like probably a free version and then probably a premium version.
Okay.
And
alright.
buying the bracelet somehow has to do with the premium version.
Like gives
I
you the
don't
premium
know.
version.
I don't know what the difference would be.
I don't know. The thing to me that stood out about it is I like the idea, but I don't think in practice it's actually going to be good.
In theory, I mean, it sounds like the greatest thing ever.
In theory, it's great. Yeah, I mean the thing about it to me is like the trailer showed like multiple like families, like mom,
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
with like their kids like going out catching some scythers,
Yeah.
catching a few like combustions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it looked like this great like family thing, but in reality, it's gonna be like a ton of like people who have like never seen the light of day, like running around and like just probably people that shouldn't be in public in general,
Right.
you know. And they're gonna be wearing the giant bracelet and
swinging their arms.
swinging
trying
their
to catch
arms
non-existent
in
Pokemon.
front of a Starbucks when people are trying to order pumpkin spice lattes. People are trying to order their PSLs, and this like 40-year-old man's trying to catch a scyther.
I mean, it does sound sweet though. Like, regardless of who's going to be actually using it, I think it's going to be pretty cool if they can if they can be successful.
Right. The
in
thing is,
designing it.
they were calling it VR. I don't know that it is VR.
I think it's AR,
AR, okay.
augmented reality.
Augment, yeah, because VR is like Oculus Rift, like virtual
Right,
reality,
right.
and
It's
that'd be,
immersive.
dude, that would be incredibly like
That
awful.
I would get behind.
If people were running around with like huge VR sets on their
you
heads.
don't have to run around with that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you can stay home, right?
Stay home.
The idea is that you don't have to go outside.
Right.
What are your thoughts on VR?
I think it could be dangerous, but I think it could also be revolutionary.
See, yeah,
I want to try it.
I agree with it.
but at
I
the
want to
same
try it,
time-
and like everyone that has tried it says it's amazing and like it's totally a great new experience. But I think some people are gonna get so like sucked into these worlds.
Well, like,
Like just think about Fallout 4,
right.
but like you're actually
Exactly.
in Fallout 4.
I mean, as long as, because like, you know, video game graphics have come so far in just the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I mean, VR is really limited right now. Like, it exists and like, there are games, but they're not like.
I don't think it's really open to the general public. Like Sony is,
I think you can buy an Oculus.
you can buy it, but
it's
I don't.
PC.
I think it's like a dev kit right now, like a developer kit.
Yeah.
I think you can buy it, but like it costs like $800,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like not really like there aren't really games for it. Like you can download like beta things for
Right.
it.
And so like so it's limited now, and I mean like, I feel like for a while it'll be a fun, you know, thing to have, but the
Mhm.
more submersive it gets, the more probably dangerous it
Oh,
can
yeah.
become.
I mean, I think eventually like you're not even gonna have to wear a headset. Like
Yeah.
your room will just be a video
Right.
game, which would be amazing.
Great.
But it's like
Where would you
yeah,
leave
like
your room?
but I mean yeah, like I just people have like lost like their entire lives to like World of Warcraft.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I worry about a world where you know, like if you can lose your like life to a game like World of Warcraft, I worry about a world where like you're literally in the game.
Yeah, and
You know
if
what I
you
mean?
can
Rather
combine
than-
if you can combine like 3D printing with this kind of technology so that like you can just print out like a meal or something while you're
Right.
playing, why bother leaving?
3D printing is a weird thing. It's not like some people have 3D printers in their house.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because it's like it's gonna put like so many things out of business.
Oh, a ton of
Like think about like just like the toy industry. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like when you can just print a toy, why does there need to be a toy industry?
I know, like people are like you. It's pretty obvious now, like what jobs we won't need because of computers.
Mhm.
But like it's hard to even imagine like 10 years from now what kind of invention will take away so many more jobs. Like
Right.
who would have thought we would have 3D printing, and who would have thought like maybe it can advance to a point where we wouldn't need even like entire industries. You know?
Right. Well, it's kind of crazy too because it's like so many jobs are taken away from technology, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you always hear like in sci-fi movies like about jobs, like about how great technology will be,
Mhm.
but it's like think about how many jobs that'll take away.
Right.
Like you see in Star Trek the thing where you can just instantly be somewhere.
Yeah.
Like think about like how many jobs that like it's a cool like idea.
We
But
won't
it's like
need-
think about like
yeah.
you won't ever need planes. Like the entire plane industry's gone.
Yeah.
You
or
won't ever
cars.
need you won't ever need cars. So the entire car industry's gone. You won't even not just cars, but like the people who make their livings like driving Uber. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're
taxi drivers.
They're-
like
yeah.
mechanics.
out of jobs and mechanics
gas stations.
are gone.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think about.
Which I
you
mean,
know?
the gas station thing is probably fine because gas is a limited resource, anyways. But
That's true. I wonder like have they estimated like a time when we will run out of gas?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because like eventually, like I think we're pretty much going to other countries for it. I think we're pretty much going to other countries for it because we're not out, but we are. It's getting harder and harder to get it in America.
Yeah.
So it's like we're going to other countries, but eventually the other countries will run
Right.
out too.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough, like, because we rely on it so much. I mean,
Oh, I know.
losing
Yeah,
a
like
resource like that would hit hard. So,
yeah, man.
and there's not really a good alternative yet.
Yeah, that's true. You see, like, the car that, like, runs on, like, fry oil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, like, that's a cool thing, but it's, like, it gets horrible, like, miles per gallon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, like, and there's, like, electronic cars and stuff, too, but, like, they still have, like, you know, bad emissions and stuff. Like, there's not really
Yeah, it's true.
anything that's completely good.
That's true. How are the, you know, how, like, the fry oil cars
Yeah.
are for the environment?
I don't know. I have no idea.
There was a movie with, like, this dude, like he would,
Vegetable oil.
yeah, he would, like, go to, like, all the restaurants, like, at the end of the day, and he would get, like, all their oil. He'd be like, hey,
You might as well.
he's like, Burger King, you guys got any extra fry oil? They're like, fine, have it your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's just get teleporters.
I don't know. It'll be awful for our economy.
I mean, you wouldn't have to walk anymore.
I love the idea, but it's like you have to think, like, I feel like a lot of technology does exist, but it doesn't get released because of because economists, like,
Oh, definitely.
bet
No,
against
there's
it.
there's a car that was invented in Europe. I think is actually invented by Volkswagen. I think it's 300 miles to the gallon.
wow, dude, that's crazy.
Which it wasn't allowed to be sold in America because of, you know,
Because of
economic reasons.
the
Like,
economic.
they didn't want to lose money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they make stuff so it'll break sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, definitely.
car batteries die after like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could make them last like 20 years,
That's-
but
yeah,
then there's no need
definitely.
to sell car batteries.
I mean,
you
just
know
look
what I
at
mean?
Apple, like you putting out new operating systems that take up so much space, and
Yeah.
like just like a new phone every couple years, you know,
Mhm.
and making the phone that you have be pretty much outdated in just a couple years. Like, of course they do that.
It's unfortunate that like money has to run everything, you know, because
Yeah.
I
What do you
do
choose?
I do think we're back to that.
Jews run the money.
I do think that there's a lot of things like, you know, not just inventions. Like, I think here's a controversial thing I'll say. I think the cure for cancer exists.
Oh yeah.
Like, not chemo. I think there's a pill you can take and your cancer's gone.
Right.
But it will never, ever be
I know,
released
like
because
how
then,
much money.
like, doctors
Yeah.
will be out of a job.
I
You know what
agree.
mean?
I've heard that too.
Which
yeah.
is awful, but it's like people are dying.
Yeah,
but
it's a crazy
like-
conspiracy.
I mean,
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that was like the story to that Dallas Buyers Club. Did you ever see that?
I didn't.
Great movie.
There's so many movies
Great
that
acting
come
in
out.
that movie.
Who?
Great acting. Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Jared Leto.
I like Matthew McConaughey.
But that's pretty much the story of that movie. Like, they get AIDS, and he finds out that there's like some sort of a medicine that can not cure him, but, you know, prolong his life.
Sure.
And they don't, or something like that. But they don't sell it like in America, so he has to like smuggle it in like from other countries.
Oh,
It's like-
yeah?
So there's probably a cure.
I don't know. I mean, I do think I think there is a cure for
Yeah.
most things.
Yeah.
But it just will never be released.
Is there a cure for the common cold? Even
There better be.
you gotta get that cure.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's such a awful thing to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so many people are, like, dying.
It's
and
crazy. It's just crazy to me to think how much is hidden from us in general.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're just numbers,
Yeah, it's true.
pretty much.
Well, it's such a weird concept to think about, like, there's 8 billion people in the world, right? Like,
Yeah.
around 8 billion. Is that a right number?
Yeah.
I think it's 8 billion.
Yeah.
It's a weird concept to think about because it's like, it's such even though, like, you know what a person is, it's such an abstract thing to think about that there's 8 billion people, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, directly you probably know a couple hundred, you
Mhm.
know? It's such a, like, awful, like, anxiety inducing thing to think about when you're sitting there and it's like, I'm in a house in a town
Yeah. Like if you feel
that's
important,
that's in like
you're
a
not.
city, that's in a state, that's
I know.
part of a country, and you know, there's so many like
you think of
planets.
You think of like historical figures that have like that went down in history. All of the people that have existed,
Mhm.
all of the people that are famous to some extent or still talked about today that have died. how many more billions and like trillions of like there's an infinitely larger number of people that have existed and died.
Right. I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing to think about. Most people that have ever existed are dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I heard that like 12% of people that have ever existed are alive today.
That's insane. Yeah.
Like only 12%, which is like that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I always I like to think about that. Like crucifixion's like one of the worst ways to die.
Right.
You know, obviously, when you think crucifixion, you think Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. But I feel bad for like everyone else that got crucified.
Like how many? Like thousands of people.
Well, there have to be some like notable guys that got crucified back in the day.
Right.
But it's just like because this Jesus guy got crucified, no one remembers him. You know, like there has to have been like a pretty famous Greek actor or like Roman actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone loved him.
It's
He's
like
signing autographs. He gets accused of murder and gets crucified.
Yeah. And I
and
mean,
then it's like, oh man, I can't believe Pontius got crucified.
And then the cross becomes like the symbol of a religion, and they're like, my uncle died because of that cross. Quit wearing it around your neck.
I always thought that was a weird thing too. Like if Jesus had come any other time, right?
right.
Like Jesus is born today, and he gets lethal injection.
Run over by a tank or something.
Well, he gets lethal injection, right? Like. Are all the Christians wearing like syringes around their neck?
Or the electric chair or something?
Yeah, like electric chair.
Right.
I don't know. What a weird world.
It is a weird world.
Has anything happened notable for you lately?
I just recently read that the Happy Birthday song is now public domain.
That's cool because
we talked about this on an older episode.
Did we?
We talked about how it used to not be public.
It should be. Like, I'm glad it is because, like, how old is it? Do you know?
It's only existed since the 20th century, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, but like, I don't know how old.
Right, but
it
like,
it was written by like two sisters. I wish I knew how old it was, cause like. But it was written by like two sisters who are probably dead by now.
Right.
So it's probably older than.
I think it's dumb. Like, artists should be able to earn off of their.
Right.
I don't know if.
They charge.
The Happy Birthday song is really high art, but artists should be able to earn revenue off of what they create, right?
Yeah.
But I hate it when like the family comes in and they're like, "Oh, my grandma created that."
Right.
It's like it doesn't matter.
No,
you
like
didn't do
charge.
anything. Why
they
do
charge
you need this
royalties for a song that pretty much everybody in America sings
right
yearly if it was used in any form of media.
Right.
It's like, all right, it's a pretty common.
Well, yeah, I think like
sing.
it was
It's
someone's
like a
birthday
jingle.
and we wanted to play it on the show or something, and it was just like, well, I don't want to get a revenue strike or an ad strike because YouTube will not allow you to put ads up if you have a song you don't own. Like the Christmas episode, we got a bunch of ad strikes, but it's worth it. You know,
it is worth it.
It is. But yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I hate when the family comes in. Like I forget. Like the family, the New 52, right? That DC Comics reboot 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was 2011, so like 4 years ago. It like happened because of the Superman family, and it's so obnoxious because it's like the guys that created Superman like absolutely deserve all the money in the world, right? Because Superman's so awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like the family comes in and they're like, because DC hadn't been giving them royalty checks or something, and they were like, "Oh, we deserve this." And they took it to court, and they were like, if you don't change Superman enough, you have to give this family a ton of royalties. And it's like, I mean, think about how much Superman stuff exists, right?
Yeah.
So like they changed it to where like he doesn't wear tights, he wears armor, even though like he's
that's dumb.
He's not vulnerable to bullets. But yeah, it's like dumb. It's like you don't deserve this revenue.
Yeah.
Like
people are greedy.
Yeah, people are greedy, but it's like if you create a great character, like you absolutely deserve it, but you don't. You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
your great grandkids, like
it was. It was like the Superman. Yeah. It was like the guys that created Superman's like great grandkids.
That's dumb.
It's like you don't deserve this. You know, like so absurd. I don't like it, but you know, I wanted to talk about this on the show. I I recently had a bat in my house.
Really?
Yeah. It was like my dog. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like I couldn't sleep, and my dog. I was like downstairs, and my dog like asked outside, so I let him out, and this bat like came in my house.
Seriously? Dang.
Yeah, and like I thought bats like lived in caves. I
Right.
guess they can like live in trees too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
bats come around. I remember when I was younger, we would see bats at night, and if you have a balled up tin foil
Right.
and throw it in the air, they'll come after it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
We had recently what I thought was a bat swooping down like by our swimming pool and like getting really close to like when we were swimming in it to like our heads and stuff.
Sure.
But it turned out to be a barn swallow, which looked like bats.
Really? Huh.
So
So it was weird having a bat in your house. I
Right.
just like opened the door because he was just like going back and forth. I just opened the door and let him out. I was wondering if you had any like crazy like wild animal stories.
I actually do.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked.
Let's hear it.
Daniel Royals, friend of the show,
I know Daniel.
could have been on this episode.
He could have been. It was funny because we were all hanging out at your house anyway, and I was like, Daniel, you want to do a podcast? He's like, no, I have to go home and study. And then we proceeded to talk for like an hour and a half. And I was like, well, could have done a pod with Daniel, but I brought extra mics.
That's fine.
Well,
It's fine.
if you want to, Christopher Walken, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyways, so we've known him a long time.
Oh yeah, since
each other a
I've known
long
him since
time.
pre-K. You've known him
Right.
since
Since kindergarten, at
kindergarten.
least.
So I've known him a year longer than you.
That's fine.
But
Mind. So this was a long time ago.
sure.
I'm trying to think of exactly when. Not really relevant to the story, but we were kids. In his house, hanging out. You might have been there.
Maybe I was. I don't.
Um,
There were a lot of moments where we hung out at his house.
yeah. Anyways, Daniel and I go out into his garage, and there's a squirrel in the garage.
Okay.
And that might have been the reason we went into the garage. I don't know. Not really relevant. Again. But we went into the garage. We were in the garage. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we were in his garage, the two of us, at the same time as the squirrel was in his garage.
I love like I wish like more like because the freaking like the Odyssey is like was like an oral story, and then like and then they actually like wrote it down at some point. I
Yeah,
wish like
yeah.
more oral stories were like
Like
told
Homer
like this. Like you open the Odyssey and it's like, so there's this mermaid. I think she's a mermaid. Like she has like a fin and like a human
It's like
body.
my grandfather told me this story.
I don't know. It's not really
remember.
relevant. There's this mermaid. You know what I mean?
Basically, he's a hero. He gets his name back. No, but so we were in the garage at the same time as a squirrel, and I think we closed him in, or we were probably trying to get him out. But it was really crazy, you know, like squirrels you see in the trees all the time, and they don't come after you.
Mm-hmm.
The squirrel seemed to be particularly violent. I'm sure he was scared because he was in a garage and there were people trying to get him.
Mm-hmm.
So we were standing around like watching him, and he was climbing around like the rafters and stuff. And Daniel's brother Matt, who had just recently purchased a miniature mace ball
Okay.
off,
Yeah,
off
right.
the internet.
Like ball and chain.
Yeah. Grabs it and brings it out
I don't think I was there.
to swing at the squirrel. I don't think he was he was successful. I think his dog Abby came out and barked at it a few times. Anyways, the crazy part of the story is we were sort of standing there looking at it. I was like in one part of the garage just sort of looking up at it, and it was like sort of hanging on something on the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and it just like looks at me and jumps and sort of glides onto my shoulder,
Oh wow.
and like I could feel it like grip into my shoulder.
Oh.
Just for a second, and then it jumped off. Like it used my shoulder.
Oh wow.
I don't know if that picked up. It jumped onto my shoulder, used my shoulder to
As like leverage.
land and jump to another part of the garage, and it was crazy. Like I'd never had a squirrel jump on me before.
Yeah.
I don't know why he chose me. I was obviously trying to get him out of the garage.
Right.
Eventually he left, but I just thought that was crazy.
That's odd. Yeah, I like that. I feel like I have like various like my dog. This is a dog who's now deceased. But my old dog used to be like, she was like,
So.
like a, she's like a rare like British breed, like not rare I guess if you're like in Britain, but she's the breed is called a treeing feist, and our family has a lot of them. I don't know why, but she's like bred to like hunt squirrels, and so like it was crazy. Like she would be able to jump like 30 feet in the air, and, into a tree, maybe not 30 feet, but like 15 feet, like into a tree, like and grab a squirrel. And I always thought that was like I wish you could have seen it. Like she could like just standing on the ground like jump.
That's awesome.
Like all the way into a tree, get a squirrel. But my dog recently had a run-in with a groundhog. This is another dog. This is a chocolate lab named Percy. Percy's been on the show.
Right. Yeah.
Give him a mic.
Yes.
So he apparently was at the dog park. I wasn't there. My mom told me about it. But he was like chasing a groundhog and like bit it, and then like he went to like bite it again, and like the groundhog like bit his like lip and was like hanging from his lip, like, and he was like trying to shake it off,
that's
and
weird.
like couldn't get it off, and then he like shook it off and bit it again and killed it. But it's like that's a weird like mental image, right? Like
that's crazy.
This freaking
because groundhogs are big.
Groundhogs are big.
I mean, your dog's big, but like a groundhog's like still. I saw one today.
If you're listening on iTunes, I'm doing a hand, so it's not good radio.
It looks like he's maybe advertising for the $5 foot long.
Right. Yeah, Jared. Don't you want more meat?
That's a crazy wild animal story.
Jared. There was
Jared from Subway.
Yeah. There was a apparently like there's like a Subway Kids app where it has like a few like kind of like crappy like games that kids can play, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, like, I hadn't seen it, but someone took a screenshot of it and tweeted it. And I'm sure they've taken it off by now, but there was, like, one of the mini games was called, like, Jared's Pants Party.
What?
And it was, like, you would use, like, Jared's, like, and it was before, like, any of this came out. But it was, like, you would use Jared's pants as, like, a slingshot and, like, shoot, like, subs or something. But it was called, like, Jared's Pants Party. I was like, I can't believe.
Well, I read that the Subway, like head honchos, like, allegedly knew about Jared's like fascination with children for a while. Didn't really do anything about it.
Wow. Scandal.
It's like people he was in touch with, like.
That's weird because like Jared can't be bringing them that much revenue, right? Like how many sales can
exactly.
Can they really
I mean, they had
like Jared?
Yeah.
Because like some people were coming out and being like, "Oh, not Jared." I was like, "Jared's really beloved." You know what I mean? Like after like he had a face that was like kind of creepy,
right?
And like after like I never suspected anything, but after they announced it, I was like, "Yeah, it makes perfect sense."
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Like if that's like if a couple years from now, like Flo from Progressive turns out to be like a serial killer, it's like,
right?
Who's gonna be like, oh, not Flo?
Yeah, I heard that Flo's like one of the like highest grossing like celebrities actually. Like she's like a billionaire.
It's just so insane.
She's been doing those commercials for like 15 years.
That's crazy.
You know?
I mean, advertising brings in a lot of revenue.
Right. Like, I just like a specific campaign. I wonder like how much you can attribute. Like who's getting Progressive insurance because of Flo? Right. You know what I mean?
No one.
I wanted to do like a tweet. I couldn't figure out like a good way to word it, but like. So, like Jared got arrested for like pedophilia, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about doing like Ronald McDonald gets arrested for like heroin or something, right? Like one of the cartoons or something, Count Chocula or something.
Or the Hamburglar finally gets booked for theft.
Yeah, he's stealing all those burgers.
Stealing some hamburgers.
That's true. It glorifies theft.
It does.
Grand Theft Burger.
It really does.
Is that his thing? Does he? Because he's the Hamburglar, but does he steal like burgers
I think
off
so.
of people's like?
I don't
like,
know.
Out of
I don't really know.
Happy
Where is he
Meals?
stealing? Is he stealing them from McDonald's?
Like out of Happy Meals. He like walks up and just like takes like he only leaves like the apple dipper.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a weird concept. All right. We'll see if this game works. I'll throw it out there. This is weird. It's not even a game. It's just an idea I had.
I'm open to that.
Like for a fun little at midnight-esque little game.
Like at midnight?
Yeah, it's fun. I was thinking about like my mom's said she liked the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, right? And that's like an actual dish.
I've heard her say that even.
Right, have you?
I think so.
It's like one of her favorite movies. Yeah. And that's like an actual dish, right?
Delicious.
But you can't like say I want some fried green tomatoes without people going like you know.
Oh yeah, like because of the yeah.
So I just wanted to like, what are other things like ruined by movie titles? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what are like other things that like movie titles just like completely you can't talk about anymore?
That's a
I
good
should have
one.
prepared more, but fried green tomatoes is my
Fried green
example.
tomatoes, yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think now. Because like, I know there's plenty like, or like TV shows even.
Yeah, that's true. You could do it even like video games. Like you
Yeah.
could do like it with anything. I don't know. Maybe I'll look up some popular
Or
movies.
band names.
That's true.
Like
band
the
names.
band Fun.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just like
I hate
love
Fun so much.
Or I hate
Yeah, that's
Fun.
true.
It's
Like I hate Fun. They're an awful band, but I can't be like, but I can't walk around saying I hate Fun.
Right.
Because like,
Or Pink.
what's wrong with Paige?
Love Pink.
You love Pink?
Singer of the Color.
So what? Still a rock star. All right, I'm gonna look up some movie titles, see if we can get a few examples. Talk a little bit. I'm bad at multitasking. You see some podcasts like look up stuff like
Yeah.
on the fly. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. I know. Like once I get
Cars.
Cars,
Has Cars been ruined? Have Cars been? I don't know if you could say Cars have been ruined.
Cars 2 ruined Cars
Right.
1.
Cars. Yeah. I'm not a Cars fan. I liked the first one.
The first one's great. It's fine. You know. Goes down as one of those, not like essential Pixar movies, but it's a good Pixar movie.
What Pixar movies you like?
The Incredibles is incredible.
Did you hear they announced Incredibles 2?
Did they?
Yeah.
I heard it was like.
There's like apparently like a Disney convention like recently. And yeah, they announced
I heard something like that it was like maybe being worked on, but I didn't know it was official.
right.
That's cool. That's good news.
Well,
Rise of the Underminer?
I don't know if it is Rise of the Underminer, but
I don't even care.
they did that as a sequel. Or they did that sequel as a video game.
Yeah, yeah.
Which actually was good.
It's
I enjoyed
weird,
it.
Though.
What?
Weird that happened.
Yeah, that's
It was
true.
like a Game Boy Advance exclusive, though, wasn't it? Like I don't think it was on like.
No, I played it on PC.
Really?
Long time ago.
Was there like a console port for it?
I think it was. I think it was on like Xbox and like PS2.
Huh.
Xbox, not
I
Xbox
remember only
360.
ever seeing it for like GBA.
I played it on PC. I don't know what else it was on, but I think underrated game.
Yeah.
I like the Underminer.
Great character.
Very good character. Yeah, I mean there are things like like quotes for movies that like ruin things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like not necessarily titles, you know?
Yeah.
Like Eugene Merman did a bit where he was like I went to the actual Hotel California, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like that's got to be like the worst job, you know? It's like so I can check out anytime I want.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's 4 and we're going to charge you for another day if you try to check out after that.
Yeah.
You know? Or like if someone had the number 8675309, it's like
That'd be
that's got to be
horrible,
the
yeah.
worst, like you know what I mean?
Terrible
Like
life.
or like Tots were ruined by Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite's a fine movie, but it's like now so many people are like
Yeah.
it's like I'm eating these fried potatoes.
I'm sure there's like a
why are
bunch-
you grinning at me?
There's probably a bunch of places too. I'm trying to think of other places like Route 66 or something.
Yeah,
because of that,
yeah.
like song.
Route 66, that's probably I think a lot of places like that, it's been good for them in the sense that economy,
Right.
getting a lot of money.
Exactly.
But yeah, like
It's a hot
apparently
spot.
I didn't even know there like was a hotel. There like is a Hotel California.
Hmm.
A lot of people stay at the hotel from The Shining.
Oh yeah.
It's not actually called the Overlook, but
The house from.
why would you stay there? That's terrifying.
The house from.
Monster House.
The house from Monster House. The house from Texas Chainsaw Massacre has been turned into a restaurant.
Really? Wow. You can go to the
Ironically enough.
It's been turned into a museum, the house from A Christmas Story. It's
Oh,
like a
really?
museum, but yeah, you
That's
can
great.
go to that. Which would be cool.
It's a good movie.
That is a good movie. I like it a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Paige Campbell Show, episode 32. I didn't forget. If you're on iTunes, no, don't like it on iTunes. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Preach from the mountain. If you're on iTunes, I guess leave us a review.
Leave us a friendly comment.
You can leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. And if you don't
rating.
give us 5 stars, don't review. Maybe 4. You could give us 4.
4 stars.
4.5.
Or GTFO.
4 is the minimum. If you're not going to give us 4,
give us
then
3. Why would you even bother?
yeah, apparently rating it on iTunes makes it appear higher on lists and stuff.
That's cool.
So
That's nice.
rate us on iTunes. Even though it's only the 2 most current episodes, I think you can rate the show. It'd be cool if we got a rating up there.
I'd love for that to happen.
Right.
Give us a chance.
Come on.
Help us out.
Give us a chance. Trying to make my way in the world. Remember, 2 most current episodes on iTunes. All of them are archived on YouTube.
Are you putting out each episode that comes out on iTunes and then deleting the previous?
Yes.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
That works.
So I mean, if you're on iTunes,
Cheat the system.
you can download it and keep it.
Yeah.
But once it's off of the feed, it's off
We're
of
not
the feed.
paying paying money to get all this.
Right.
All these episodes on.
Once I see a return on the show, I'll put it back into the show. But that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
We have shirts. Zazzle.com/The Paige Campbell Show. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Uncle Paige. That's at Noah Aiden 42. 2 A's, not any E's.
There's no E in Aiden.
Is the 42 life, universe, everything?
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
It's a good number.
It is.
But yes, I like the
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
The
Galaxy.
Galaxy. Restaurant at the end of the universe.
Love it.
Because that's the sequel.
Yeah, and then
Do you have a closing song?
what comes after that one? I can look one up.
Nah, we'll just do a hard cut. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Great episode.
It was a good one. It's one for the ages.